I don't know anybody with a bigger heart than Senator Graham, and on this issue it comes to bear. Not only the heart for woman and child, but also the wisdom and the knowledge to navigate a bill like this in a Senate that is very hostile, led by a self-proclaimed pro-life senator, the one that we know from Nevada. I want to thank publicly Senator Graham's efforts, his strategic focus, and his ability to speak in an attractive way across all demographic lines, meaning Republican, Democrat, women and men, is an example of leadership that the pro-life movement should follow, and we aim to do that.
Thank you. Today is, I think, the anniversary of one of the Chamber of Horrors in American jurisprudence, Dr. Gosnell case, who was sentenced to life in prison, 3 counts of murder, 1 count of involuntary manslaughter, and many lesser counts. He's sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. What did he do? He ran an abortion clinic that was aborting babies at the latest stages of the pregnancy. Babies survived the abortion procedure to only have their spinal cord severed. He called that ensuring fetal demise. It was something that the media didn't pay a lot of attention to, but thank God the courts did. And at the end of the day, a year after this case, we need to have some soul searching in America as to what is the proper role of government. Clearly, it was proper to put him in jail for life because he was killing babies at the latest stage of the delivery process, literally running a chamber of horrors. So what are we trying to do here? We're trying to ask the American people, through their elected representatives, for permission for our country to get out of a very select group of nations. In the entire world, there are 7 countries that allow elective abortions at the 20-week period and beyond. My goal is to make sure when this is over, there's 6. And we're in China, North Korea, Vietnam, Singapore, Canada, and the Netherlands. You add us, that makes 7. So I believe if the medical standard of care in 2014 is such that you cannot provide surgery to an unborn child at the 20-week period without administering anesthesia, the law has a compelling interest to protect the baby from wholesale abortion. So let me just say that again. If you're a doctor operating on an unborn child at the 5th month of the pregnancy, the 20-week period, you have to provide anesthesia. That's the standard of care expected of our physicians. And if you're going to tell doctors you got to provide anesthesia before you can operate to save the baby's life, do we really want to be killing the baby at that point in time during an abortion? And if you could just step aside there a little bit, this is what some of the more prominent medical journals tell young parents to do at 20 weeks. An unborn child can hear and respond to sounds. Talk or sing. The unborn child enjoys hearing your voice. So to America, if the medical standard of care for doctors is you can't operate without suppressing pain, and if you're telling young parents at this stage in the pregnancy, sing or talk because the child enjoys hearing your voice, should we have wholesale, unfettered abortions? Do we want to be in this club of 7? If we got a vote on the floor of the Senate, there would be bipartisan support for my idea. And the idea is fairly simple. At this stage of the pregnancy, and people have been born at 20 weeks or alive today, but the difference between medical viability under Roe v. Wade and this bill is that we're establishing a new legal theory to protect the unborn. And the legal theory goes like this. If you cannot operate without providing anesthesia and the child is capable of feeling extreme pain because of how far they're developed in the birthing process, the state has a legitimate compelling interest to regulate abortion at that period. And the exceptions we have in this legislation are for the life of the mother and for rape and incest pregnancies. So we'd be basically backing up the 24-week partial birth abortion ban. But unlike partial birth abortion, it bans abortions when the child is partially born. This would stop aborting a fetus at the 20-week period because the child is so far along, they feel pain And again, America has to do some soul searching here. If doctors and healthcare professionals are asking you to sing to your child because they can hear your voice and like the sound of it, should we speak up as a nation? Not singing, because I would run everybody out of this room, but through legislation. I welcome this debate. This is what democracies are all about. When do you become who you are? When do you have a soul if you think you have one? These are questions very worthy of a great democracy. And I've tried to marry this bill up with an idea by my friend Senator Blumenthal. He has legislation called the Women's Health Protection Act of 2013. And he introduced the bill saying every senator should be on the record when it comes to this legislation. He has 33 co-sponsors. It would make it illegal almost all of the nearly 200 laws regulating abortion that have been enacted at the state level since 2011 would be overturned. This is a wholesale assault on abortion legislation at the state level. He's a fine man. We have a different view. I'm not asking him to abandon his philosophy or his view of this issue. I'm asking him and the other Democratic friends to debate his view versus mine and ours and see where the votes come out. And unfortunately today, the request to set a time to debate both bills in a very, I think, professional fashion was denied. Bottom line, we're not going away. May 13th, if we're all still living and around, next year, if nothing has happened, we'll be back. And we'll keep coming back, and we'll keep coming back until the Senate responds to our request to have a debate that I think would be worthy of a great democracy, that would be worthy of having, and try to convince the American people that there comes a time and place for you to speak and for you to act, that we do have a conscience as a nation, and at the 20-week period of the birthing process, that is the time for all of us to stand together. I am confident a strong majority of Americans would support the legislation that would restrict abortion at this phase of the birthing process 5 months, because the baby is very much alive, can feel pain, and if left and treated well, will become a member of society without any debate as to whether or not you belong. Our view is at 20 weeks you're already a member of society and you need our help, and we're here to provide it.